House Minority Leader Nancy "Crumbs" Pelosi was caught bashing President Donald Trump's tax cuts again, but this time, it was in Arizona. All caught on video, the California communist got her feathers ruffled and refused to answer one brutal question from a heckler. Weeks ago, when Nancy Pelosi DCA came out against President Donald Trump's new tax reform policy, she was instantly criticized for calling the bonuses being given out to employees by several American companies in response to the tax cuts crumbs. Ads by of content. According to Daily Caller, Pelosi recently surfaced at a town hall meeting in Phoenix, Arizona, where she continued to attack the president over his new tax reforms and got a brutal surprise that she never saw coming. These issues about the tax cut, and then the cuts to initiatives that help people, that's part of the budget. The national budget should be a statement of our national values, Pelosi said, of what is important to us as a nation, which makes us strong and builds for the future, should be reflected in our budget, she continued. Final photos taken just moments before tragedy struck. Poploster.com ads by of content. Find out more. Greater than 60,197. But what we have seen here is a complete opposite. So this isn't about Democrats or Republicans. This is about the United States of America, about our children's future, she added. And, again, it can't possibly be a statement of values for us to talk about. As Martin Luther King said, God really didn't really never intended for one group of people to live in superfluous inordinate wealth while others live in abject deadening poverty. This is where Pelosi stepped out of her safe bubble. She has no room to quote Martin Luther King and his remarks about one group of people living in superfluous inordinate wealth, and someone in the crowd at the town hall called her out on N. Ads by of content. Doing this before bed could help you regrow your hair. Watch this regrow hair X. Strange link between eggs and diabetes. Watch Health Tips X. The unusual link between coconut oil and Alzheimer's memory repair X. So, these are kitchen table issues, though, for America's families, because most people are not in deadening poverty, but some are. But most people have to struggle to make ends meet. Pelosi rambled before she got blasted with a question from a heckler that she did not want to answer. The woman in the crowd asked. This is probably the one single question Pelosi did not want to be confronted with during her town hall speech, because her wealth is nearly $196 million, according to a 2017 report from Investment Watch. Pelosi angrily fired back at the heckler, saying, "No, we're not talking about that." As the woman in the crowd continued to insist that Pelosi should speak about her enormous fortune, Pelosi tried to continue her talking points. So, in any event, I'm a mother of 5. I cannot speak louder than anybody, she said. It's highly hypocritical for Nancy Pelosi to tout herself as a proponent of income equality. The amount of money she has come into since taking office as a congresswoman is absolutely obscene. Politicians should not be amassing such outrageous amounts of wealth while they are in office. If they want to go out and earn it in the real world like other people try to do, I'm fine with that, but when you have a salary of less than $194,000 a year, you should end up with a net worth of $196 million when you've been in politics for the last 30 years. To the math. It doesn't make sense. The bottom line is that Nancy Pelosi is just one of many slimy politicians who use their influence and power in exchange for payoffs. This is what our so-called government servants have been up to for decades, and it's entirely the reason we have career politicians like Pelosi who stay in office far past the time that they have anything to offer the constituents. Final photos taken just moments before tragedy struck. Poploster.com ads by of content. Find out more. Greater than 31,660. I think it's time for Nancy Pelosi to admit that President Trump's tax reforms are the best policy changes our country has seen in 3 decades. Our financial situation is improving, and American companies are investing billions back into our economy. Pelosi should be thankful that there is someone in Washington, D.C., who is actually doing something for those who put her in office, because she sure isn't.